Hi and welcome, chart artists. Is the lower high already in, and are we going to start tumbling down from here? Let's analyze the price of Bitcoin together. Please smash up the like, hit subscribe, and as always, let's dive into a little bit of news, see where the market sentiment is lying at the moment. Also, remember, come and trade with me. Use my links down in the description to sign up to your favorite exchange. I use Bybit, BingX, and Mexi. Great bonuses for when you sign up. Also dependent on how much volume you trade and the amount that you deposit. Okay, first things first, let's get right into it. The moon cycle seems legit for BTC. What do you guys think? I'm not sure if any of you have heard about the moon cycles. Okay, so going back onto the price of Bitcoin, let's go and have a look at the moon cycles, where you can see that switch on. You can go to your indicators, search for moon phases, and it brings up your new moon, full moon. And the theory or the simplicity behind the strategy is that you sell when there's a new moon and you buy when there's a full moon. And here you can see when we printed the new moon, we dumped. And now when we printed the full moon, we started climbing again. And apparently this strategy has a 70% accuracy rate. I haven't back tested it, but quite interesting to note that we have dumped and we have pumped from a moon phase perspective. How interesting is that? Okay, cool. But let's put jokes aside, let's get serious. Where are we? Going back to the news. Okay, some people are tracking this momentum here to the upside, where we've now broken down, and we are currently retesting this trend line for further continuation to the downside. Also here, looking at the price of Bitcoin, I'm here on the 12 hour. Also, I've identified this trend momentum to the upside, which we've broken. And could this be a retest for further continuation down, or are we still going to climb a little bit higher, or even come and claim this high for momentum to the downside? Okay. Next up, weekly candle closed, a bullish hammer candlestick. So some chartists identify this as a bullish hammer. What happened here? I can't remember the date, during Feb 2023, where you grab the liquidity, you close back above support for continuation to the upside. Will history repeat? Exactly. Hammer candle, grab the liquidity, closed above. Will we see momentum to the upside to come and claim the high? Or are we going to make a lower high for then continuation to the downside? Next up, Grayscale. The discount on Grayscale is finally to zero. Right, this is potentially very bullish for Bitcoin. Grayscale BTC discount is now gone. The last time this happened was 3 years ago. This could turn out to be a really bullish if it remains this way. Bitcoin halving is also about 80 days away. Let's see what happens next. So first time in 3 years that the Grayscale discount is now to zero. So quite bullish for Bitcoin at the moment. Last up, Google is the biggest advertising network in the world, 2 times bigger than the second biggest ad network, which is Facebook or Meta. Bitcoin ETFs can now start advertising on Google from tomorrow. When was this published? Yesterday. Okay, I think today is the 29th. So from today, the ETFs on BlackRock and ARK and all the ETFs that's been launched can now advertise on Google. Will we now perhaps see a spike in the Bitcoin price because of the new inflow of money? Okay, that's the end of the news. Let's dive into the price of Bitcoin. Looking at the price of Bitcoin here, first let's tackle it from a high time frame perspective. Is switch on the VRVP, and I have gone through this already. Let's just do a little bit of a recap. We can clearly see that we have 2 high volume nodes over here, and I've marked them out as major point of controls, okay, where the highest amount of volume was traded. We tapped the first one, and now we're currently finding rejection to the downside. Could we find a little bit more steam to come even and tap the second one? Okay, or even a little bit further up, we have a little bit of a high note there for potentially closing this gap and then turning around a little bit higher. So for now, keeping things simple, let's go into the lower time frames and see what's happening over there. Switch off VRVP. Let's zoom in here. Is to say, when I look at this little structure that we formed over here, there really is 2 scenarios that can play out here. And for me at the moment, I kind of feel 50-50. I'm really not leaning towards any scenario at the moment. If you had to put a gun to my head, I would say, well, potentially we could get another leg up before we see continuation to the downside. Looking at this structure, you can see when I take my fib extension, trend-based fib extension, and potentially marking this out as a 1, 2, 3, and we are now busy with a 4th wave, and we still need to go and make a 5th wave to the upside. You can take your fib and say, well, is that a target for a 3rd wave? Okay, from 1 to 2, yes, it did hit the 6182 to perfection. Cool. Which is also in confluence with that first major point of control that I've pointed out. Okay, the 1.618 is also a C wave target. So what if this is a 1 well, A, B, C to the upside. It also hit a C wave target, so I won't get my hopes up just yet for continuation to the upside. So this can be both a bullish and a bearish scenario, and we'll just have to observe the price reaction as we move up or down. But for now, it does look like we can still find momentum to the upside to go and complete that fifth wave before we see a little bit of a ABC retracement or correction. Okay, some of the invalidations that I'm watching is to say that when I take a normal fib from 2 to 3, potential 3 here on top, okay, the 50% fib level over here is the maximum target I want to see for a fourth wave. So if we have to consolidate over here and perhaps we tap the 50%, I want to see us move to higher levels. Tapping the 0.618 is potentially an invalidation for impulses to the upside, and we could see further continuation then to the downside to come and grab all the liquidity that's now built up below these lows. Quite significant liquidity I saw below these lows here as well. Okay, so for now, there's a potential to move up and there's a potential to move down. The one thing that I am keeping an eye also is to say that, well, if this is a third wave and we are busy with a fourth wave, we can go and estimate where the fifth wave could end. So I take it from the bottom of 1 to the top of 3 and potentially to where 4 is going to end. Okay, so perhaps that 50% fib level over here will take you, okay, let's just put that fib in back in there, is to say that, well, if we do go and bounce here on the 50% fib level, you will then see that a fifth wave target, which is the 0.618, has confluence with a second point of control and also a retest of that major trend line that I've just shown. Okay, so perhaps the one scenario is, grabbing my pen, is to say we consolidate, we tap the 50% fib level to come and complete the fifth wave over here to then see a deeper correction to the downside. Or another scenario is we hit the 618 and we find momentum to the downside. Another scenario is we move up from where we are right now to go and complete the fifth wave. It's not to say that we have to come and tap the 50% fib level. We've already tapped the 382, which is also a fourth wave target. Okay, but for now, it looks like we're consolidating, waiting for a decision whether we should go up or down. Right, that's basically the price of Bitcoin that I'm watching here, is to say that, well, both of these scenarios have a 50-50% of breaking either to the up or to the downside. Also, as per I highlighted in my previous videos, when you zoom into this price action over here, it's not to say that we are going to reject here and just move to $37,000 or $32,000. It could be a shallow ABC to find more momentum to the upside. Okay. The other thing that I am watching is to say that, well, if this is an A, and we are busy with the B wave, you know, a still higher low structure. Grabbing my pen. What if this is an A? We are now busy with the B wave. There's a couple of places where we could turn around to find momentum to the downside. As per the scenario that I've just explained, where we go and complete the fifth wave, even further up to this point of control, perhaps no one expecting, is to say that you break back into trend. You make people extremely bullish. Okay, we're going to come and claim this high from a market psychology perspective. We're back in trend. Bull runs back, baby. We are going to go make all-time new yearly highs, only to come to this point of control, which is the point of control of this range over here, to reject or continuation to the downside. Okay, from a bigger time frame perspective, when I go and take the brushes out the way, the one thing that I am keeping in mind is to say, let's go on to the 12 hour. We have to acknowledge that from a high time frame perspective, let's just take all the fibs out, clean this up a bit. We have broken market structure. Market structure says that you now need to go and make a lower high for continuation, potentially down back here to the $37,000, $31,000 level. We'll just have to observe the price action as we move down. Okay. For now, based on what we've seen from a market structure perspective, it is there are lower probabilities for us just to go and do that. Okay. So it's just about observing the price reaction as we get to each major level and see how we react. Do we see bullish, bearish CVD? Also speaking about CVD, let's go have a look at CVD at the moment. Okay. I'm here on the 15 minutes, and what I can see is, remember, you want lower low price action, lower high price action, and higher high in CVD to determine if it's bearish. Right, so what I can see here at the moment is, from this little move up here, bearish CVD. Okay, and the target was this low, and we came back all the way down. Okay, neutralizing the CVD. Now what I'm seeing is also still, just want to make sure. Okay, it still looks like we are building up bearish CVD. Even from this pivot over here, bearish CVD. Okay, where the target was this low and we haven't taken it yet. But now we also have lots of mixed signals at the moment. Now I'm also spotting bullish CVD. Look at this pivot. Okay, that's already taken. But if I take this pivot to where we are right now, you can see, okay, that we're making bullish CVD, of which the target is now this high. Okay, so quite mixed signals at the moment. Is bullish and bearish CVD countering each other at the moment. Hence, you are getting this consolidation that is squeezing for either that up or down momentum. Right, what else? What else? One of the other coins that I've been watching, let's just clear out all the scribble, is DOGE. DOGE, for some reason, looks very bullish at the moment, although we've had a little bit of a dump over here. But tracking this momentum here to the downside, we had a little bit of a fake out, but we are still holding the home line, just not being able to break to the downside. And now we flipped this resistance into support. So for DOGE to remain bullish, what I'd like to see is for us to not break back below the support that we've now flipped, or the resistance that we've now flipped into support. So we've essentially done an RS flip, and you want to see us hold here above for that potential breakout to the upside. If we had to come back down, find acceptance back below the resistance, and consolidating below, we could find momentum to the downside. So very curious to see what's going to happen with DOGE over here, considering we've broken out with high green volume, flipping the resistance into support, and now finding consolidation, retesting the support. Okay, so you want to see this level hold for potential breakout to the upside. Obviously, Bitcoin needs to play ball here as well. And also, I know that there's some news around DOGE, so perhaps, it's a sell the news event. Just, monitoring to see what's going to happen here with the price of DOGE. Currently also being squeezed into this little triangle over here for either that up or breakdown to the downside. Okay, if you'd like the best trading strategy for your long-term portfolio, instead of having diamond hands, please go and watch this video. Until the next update, cheers for now.